what are your thoughts now, 24 hours on? Is the cost of living crisis a lot more important? Will Partygate fizzle out?
Well, it was fascinating yesterday as this story was breaking to try and gauge the temperature of Westminster. Of course, it's a tricky thing to do while Parliament is in recess, as it is until the middle of next week. The fact that these fines, these fixed penalty notice orders dropped yesterday really, to some extent, might have ameliorated the immediate interaction between the media, the MPs and the government. The fact that the House of Commons lies empty until Tuesday is a particularly poignant point here, because of course we weren't able to get that crucible of feeling, the idea that there might be this greater heat, the sort of heat that we felt several months ago when all of this news was breaking for the first time. Well, now that 24 hours have gone by, it does seem to be that we are in a different space to where we were back in January and February. This seems to be a significant issue, but a less significant issue than it once was. I was speaking to Professor Sir John Curtis earlier, who was saying that, yes, this has increased the public's anxiety about Partygate as an issue, but ultimately not to the level at which it once was. And that is reflected really also in how Conservative MPs, and let's not forget, it is Conservative MPs that decide the Prime Minister's fate here, not what anything the opposition says, but how many on those green benches on the government side are going to take against the Prime Minister. And taking the temperature of the mood of Conservative MPs, it seems like an imminent call for a leadership election is not nearby. There are several arguments that Conservative MPs use. Firstly, nominally, the war in Ukraine, of course, a big issue that the Prime Minister has been seen the world around to have done quite well on. Britain has been at the front in terms of leading the unified Western response and indeed pushing European countries in particular to go further on sanctions. The SWIFT banking system, for example, is one area there. So clearly the Prime Minister has won back some credence amongst Conservative supporters, amongst Conservative MPs on that issue. But ultimately the question of further fines may destabilise things later on.